All right, now it's time for newspaper review here on Weekend Express, and I have Joe Halenda with me. He is a lawyer. Joe, it's so good to see you. I can see you already have your newspaper and already going through it. That's the standard. Of course, a very top story that we hear is the closing ranks, and we have President Uhuru Kenyatta there, Raila Odinga, as well as Gideon Moi. First of all, it began with the handshake.
Yes.
Then the visit between former President Moi and Raila Odinga, shaking up a few things within the political world. There you had Kalonzo Musyoka saying that that shouldn't phase it.
Yeah, I'm one of those people who buy Kalonzo's story because it's a meeting between normal Kenyans, senior citizens, who are within their rights to meet and have a talk and have even tea.
But Joe, let's be honest, this was not just any other meeting.
Yeah.
This is former President Moi meeting Raila Odinga. The talks and the handshake between Uhuru and Mr. Odinga, whatever happened is yet to be known.
You know,
and all this is happening in surprising manners.
It's not happening in surprise manners. Reason being that we are talking about succession politics, politics of 2022. That's why these meetings are being seen like to be those of high-level meetings between these families.
Right.
Yeah.
But the problem that most people are having, even with the likes of Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka, and even the Catholic Church, you heard them saying that is that these talks are happening in private. We do not know what it is has been agreed on. They've said, they've even encouraged them to, first of all, include other leaders for a more inclusive Kenya conversation.
These meetings are not happening in private, specifically for Raila Odinga, the gentleman being involved in this conversation. Raila is very, very calculative. Raila is a typical politician. He's a real politician who knows how to scheme things. Raila has seen an opportunity in all this. And if you are very keen, when Raila visited the former President Moi, you could look at his entourage. You see the MP from Mombasa, Nani Abdullahi Nasir. This is the son of the late Nasir. Who was Nasir in Moi's government? Then there's Haniri. Haniri's father was also close ally to Mzee Moi. So those are the things which are making people to see that it's more than it meets the eye. But one thing I know with this thing, there's nothing serious to make Kenyans. Yeah.
No, Joe, come on. Like you said yourself, these talks are happening as succession for 2022 is being planned out. And the thing is, my question is, what do you think Musalia Mudavadi, Kalonzo Musyoka, and Moses Wetangula have up their sleeves? I mean, Kalonzo is here saying that now he wants to go and meet former President Mr. Moi. When the Uhuru and Raila handshake met, he said that they also want to meet President Uhuru Kenyatta. Yeah. What do you think is going through the minds of those three? Yeah,
for Kalonzo, one thing I know, the gentleman has realized that he is not in touch with the his Kamba backyard, and he's quickly trying to fix things and see if he can still gain back the Kamba region. For Wetangula and his brother Mudavadi, also, they're doing the same. But for him, is out of anger, out of feeling that they were betrayed in the NASA coalition. But as a politician, it's normal that any deal in politics is not what is on the table, it's what is under the table. Yeah.
All right, so let's take a look at page 2. Page 2, the whole IEBC was where we have the court declines to lift Chiloba's rather compulsory leave. The embattled IEBC CEO Ezra Chiloba lost his first battle with his boss, Wafula Chebukati, after the Nairobi court declined to lift his 3-month suspension. Now, this is something that also has kept a few Kenyans glued to news. The wars between a boss and his employer, or rather employee. What were your thoughts in regards to this when this news came out, where the court in regards now sided with Chebukati?
Yeah, what Kenyans should be concerned about is that IEBC needs to conduct a boundary review in 2019, and if these sideshows and infighting continue, we are going to lose it, because it's one of its mandate as IEBC to review the boundaries, the electoral boundaries after a period of 10 years. So IBC needs to be in order. And one of the things that you are getting from this story, it's because of the current ongoing audit within IBC that is leading to this story. Yeah.
But the audit is a must. It has to be done given the fact that we just came from an electioneering period.
It is a must, but I don't get it, and everybody is not understanding this story. Why suspend Ezra Chiloba and the audit is ongoing? But it's also okay because the court has said that there's no problem with you being on suspension while the audit is ongoing.
All right, let's just shift gears a little bit. Today, the continent is putting to rest Mama Winnie Mandela. And we've also seen that we've crossed over live to Johannesburg, where her funeral, her state funeral will take place today. What were your thoughts? I mean, she's more than just Mandela's wife. I think that should be all the way at the bottom. She was a human rights activist, a social worker. she's mostly known for the anti-apartheid campaigner. Police in South Africa were scared of her because Winnie Mandela she was a hero. She was not to be messed with. I mean, when the likes of Nelson Mandela, the man who was yet at the forefront of fighting apartheid, rather, were taken to jail, women like Winnie Mandela stepped their game.
For my take is that if you are a lady and you are looking for a role model, look no further than Winnie Mandela.
Yes.
Because Winnie Mandela, Africa, today we are paying our last respect to one of the most recognizable freedom fighter, an icon. And one thing that Winnie Mandela reminds us as people, as a human being, that we are not perfect. Yeah.
She was not, of course, yes, she also had her own downfalls, but I feel like that should not even taint her own image. It surpasses her legacy.
Yeah, and if you have a critical eye on the story of Winnie Mandela, you realize her problem started when her name started featuring on those people who will succeed Nelson Mandela.
Yeah. What I'm saying, what I think it would be glad to see, it would be very notable to see what her daughters, Zinani and Zinzi, will be able to do in order to adhere their mother's legacy. I mean, when your father is Nelson Mandela and your mother is Winnie Madikezela Mandela, that's a lot on you, on her daughters.
Yeah, if you don't have that character, if you don't have that personality, you can easily be overshadowed by that. Yeah.
And Raila Odinga has gone for the funeral that is taking place today.
Yes.
Okay. Away from that, let's come back home. On page 4 and page 5 we're still on the Standard this morning. The political families regroup, rattle friend and foe. This should be interesting to see, because like even as our headline newspaper shows, that we have President Uhuru Kenyatta, Raila Odinga and Gideon Moi. Their fathers as well have also been a key player within our history. Jomo Kenyatta, Mr. Odinga himself, and the former President Moi himself. And look at their sons.
Yes, and one thing we should note from these three families, because these are the families that have invested in this country heavily. They benefit when there's peace and stability in this country for their investment to continue. So they'll at least favor peace than if we have an unstable country.
Here's the thing, Joe. There are a lot of Kenyans are also asking themselves, does presidents in this country have to run between these three families? Could we see 2022 be a different ballgame?
Yeah, 2022 definitely is a different ballgame.
An end to these families?
Yes, it's an end to these families, I'm telling you.
In terms of their political dynasty?
Yes, in terms of their political dynasty. And if I join the others who are trying to speculate on issues to do, if they're closing ranks in terms of political maneuvers, they have realized that 2022 is long gone, and Honorable Deputy President William Ruto has already taken off. Yeah, and what other people are doing is just trying to catch up. Yeah.
All right, take a look. Let me read for you what Duale says. Duale's take in regards to that Thursday meeting between Mr. Odinga and Mr. Moi. He says, in a quote, Majority Leader Aden Duale has said that the visit to Kabarak was healthy and has not been bearing on the next presidential election and was just an extension of March 9th handshake between President Raila and President Uhuru Kenyatta.
Yes, it's just an extension. And actually, on the next day after Raila has visited the former president, it was that Raila had gone to brief Mzee on the ongoing handshake and the process Yeah.
All right, but Joe, I mean, I have to differ with you there when you say that these are not secret meetings, because, I mean, we do not know what was discussed there. For a nation to come back to one standing, that Uhuru and Raila handshake, and then later on you meet our former President Moi, speaks volume.
Yeah, it speaks.
All right, now, our Saturday Nation, or rather the Saturday Nation newspaper, for them, they're running with a different headline. It's revealed details of the 4 billion Kenyan shillings student medical scheme. President Uhuru Kenyatta launches a new cover with learners expected to start benefiting from the medical scheme come next month. Parents welcome the move as a big relief, saying that the cost of treatment for their children was taking a toll on them, of course, as well as the NHIF boss, who says that they are ready for the ambitious project. Here's the thing, Joe. Kenya is very well known for ambitious projects. 4 billion, this is fantastic. But do you think that this will indeed be used for what they are saying, the medical scheme for students? Or sadly enough, will we see another scheme where money has been eating, or students are not even receiving that money for their medical cover?
Yes, what I understand is that healthcare is a right that any Kenyan is supposed to enjoy fully. Yes, because if you look at our constitution from when it talks about economic and civil rights, it's about, and social rights. It's about health. It's about education and our political rights. But what I know is that countries are moving towards universal healthcare coverage, whereby any individual is not supposed to pay for medical bills from his pocket.
Right.
And what I get from this story is that Kenya is also trying to join the rest of the world. But being in Kenya, where we are used to such kind of issue, and again, later in the day, you'll find that it was also a scandal. It was some kind of a white elephant. Yeah, let's not allow this story to be like the other stories.
All right, let's 500,000 Kenyan shillings is the sum that each student will be receiving for their new cover. At just a glance, let me give you a highlight of this. Outpatients, necessary medical treatment provided to a member as per level of care who is not registered as inpatient at a hospital. Dental covers consultations, x-rays, root canal, extractions and scaling accidents-related dental treatment. Optical is there, local road, ambulance, emergency air rescue services. Number 6, overseas air evacuation. I'll let you grab your newspaper dailies this morning for details on those stories, because right now it is 9 a.m. Weekend Express needs to take another quick break, because when we come back, we're going into our second hour of the show, where, like I told you, for the next 30 minutes, we'll be discussing the new laws that Tanzania has put on social media, and more specifically on the internet. More details with that, and later on, Wahoo will be here. Stay with Weekend Express.